Oh my god, what's wrong with my mic? My. Okay, now it's working. Okay, we're good. We good. Where am I? Oh yeah, the island. That's right. Island, the island. Here, the island. The island. The rainbow. Mm-hmm. Do I have any food? No, I don't. Great. I need food though. That's what I need. I need food first before I attack. Food. Yeah, logistics. Okay. Oh, oh no. Oh, no. No. Oh no. Oh. I'm out of danger. Hey. Ow. Ah, no. How's the water? I feel like back up the server. No grades. No course. You find this would be possible. Going on. Whoa. Door's open. Fine. Yeah. Okay. Bruh. This looks good. So I'm about to blow it up. So these places were saved. This was saved. I hope they didn't find this place. Oh, this is our way home. This is our way home. Sleeping out of bed and sleeping. Nope. Oh, no, 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 no. No. It's stuck in there. Oh. Jump away. Jump away. Wow. In there. In there. Oh my god. Okay. But first, I gotta get some revenge. Meet me at the beach. Woohoo. No way. No. No. Go to the beach. I wanna grab some food. I wanna get some food. Cyber's back. Hey, Cyber's back. Cyber's back. Cyber's back. Oh. I said that I wanted to. I need help. Fine. Team mode creator. I'm John Gamer. Going to die. Get over there. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Wait a minute. What? What? Uh, oh, no. That's a Ghost Rider's wrong. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Run away. Forge, man, forge, whatever. Hurry on the moon. Should I? Should I come in? Uh, uh, backups. Um, 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 wah, 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 wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh shoot, I forgot I was in. I just want you to know. Okay. What? Oh, come on. Someone always gotta join right when we start the server back up, and then they're gonna start trolling the server. Come on. This better not happen again. Ah. Puppet. Mm. Are you fucking joking me? Oh my god, bro. You know what? I'm done with this. This one did not want this to happen. Oh my god. I'm like, uh, uh,
And then I'll also start calling other people. Hey, thank you everyone for your patience while I caught up with Mr. Buchanan. I'm going to start calling students in. I think it's probably so hard to call students in because it's like, then it starts moving around. Miles, did I get Miles? Alex? And then I'm like calling in like Mr. Normandy, Ms. Gdansky. So our community circle question will start out, how we're doing on our mood meter. And then we'll try and break off really quickly because we do have to meet in the afternoon. And, we also have to meet in the morning. It's a weird schedule. I don't know, like we're meeting twice in the day and I don't want to make you work harder than you need to because I know it was frustrating for me when I was a student and, if I had to be in class for arbitrary reasons, which means like not necessarily good reasons, but just like reasons just for reasons. Like right now it's like, well, if we're going to meet in the afternoon, I would like to combine the afternoon with our morning period. But that's not an option and we have to meet in the morning. So I don't want to waste your time. So we'll kind of go through our PowerPoint, do our community circle. That was kind of like a roundabout, like too long of an answer for this morning. So sorry about that. So looking in, so Milo looks like they might be a little bit more tired. Yeah, I get a lot of ones with this and I imagine it's because we're all starting our day off like at home. If I was at home right now, I'd probably be a 1, maybe literally in pajamas, at least from the waist down, or like comfy shorts that I wouldn't wear to work. Right now, I'm going to say I'm at like a 4, I'm like ready for the day and like ready to work. Maybe like a 9, but also maybe a 5 because I got a lot of work to do and I'm going backpacking this weekend and I got to be able to like carry 4 days worth of food and also have 4 days worth of food with me. So yeah, I'm like excited to do that, but also I have to work and it makes it really hard to plan for a trip when I'm always working. And a trip that's coming up right away. Milo, you said you're a 1. Damien, do you want to help us out? Where are you on your mood meter? If your mic's broken again, don't worry, just put it in the chat so we can, quickly take attendance and get through it. Damien, I'll come back to you. Milo, are you? Oh, Milo, you already said. Cash, what about you? Where are you at?
1.
1? All right. Maybe a little bit sleepy, still bundled up. Max, where are you at?
1.
Okay, yeah, also bundled up. And Trip, what about you?
I think I'm like a 5 and 4 at the same time.
5 and 4? Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited.
For reasons, like I'm at a 4. No, I'm at a 5 because I just got my vaccine. I'm tired all the time because
Are
of
you
it.
joking?
This awesome final assessment that I can work on for language arts, and it's going to be one of the biggest things I've ever done, and it's going to look really cool.
Okay, what is it for?
We have to demonstrate like what we think a hero is, and I think a hero is like sacrificing everything you know for like the good of something that you believe in. So I'm using one of my games called Men of War Assault Squad 2 to simulate that.
Okay, well,
it's set in the World War II period, which is where I want it to be, and I can basically just have a massive battle going on with this going. So.
Okay, cool. I'll talk to you about that a little bit later, in case you need me to like.
That's what I'm gonna work on as well.
Okay, in case you need me to like print things out, get art supplies. We have like a room full of stuff, but cool. So Trip, Cash, Milo, Damien. I'm going to assume, Damien, you have mic troubles because you're usually always here.
I'm a number 5 because there's too many hackers.
Okay, that's fair. I'm going to take attendance really quick.
Okay.
I'm going to say Jake is here because he checked in. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so today we are Tuesday. I think this is probably more for me to get myself centered than for you at this point. Today is Tuesday. That's where we're at. So we're here, 4th period, and then also here, you know, just friendly reminder, Mr. Buchanan has his own link. I also put it on, Schoology. Let's go to Schoology, and we have Mr. Buchanan's link right here. I put it in green, and then the morning one is over here. Mr. Buchanan is all remote, so that's why we're splitting it up this way. The way that Teams is set up, Mr. Buchanan can't start the meeting, and then I also have to like come out from the field too, and it takes like a while. So I think this just kind of like streamlines the process easier and makes everything quicker. For PowerPoint. So yeah, that's where we're at. We are cohort A, so that's Max and Trippin today. You know, I think Mr. Buchanan just prefers to have everyone sign in at 11:55 and manage it that way. If you're in cohort B or C, you know, today, so when I give you 5 minutes to figure out like what you need to work on, so thinking about, you know, make sure you know what you need to do for later, how you will turn it in, where the directions are, what the directions are. This also includes the rubric and what you need to do to complete it, and then also emailing teacher to ask for help if you're like, I don't know what to do, or I don't know where it's at. I know, you know, teachers organize their Schoology page differently, and so it might not always work out very well. This also includes preparing for upcoming assignments. I know a lot of us have a history project that we're working on. You know, things you can email your teacher, being very specific. I don't know where the directions are. Subject for agreement. I need more direct instructions for how to work on this assignment. And so yeah, we'll go through this first. I'll set a timer for 5 minutes, and then I'll put everyone in breakout rooms. We'll split up into 2 groups, and I need to change this really quick. And then in the afternoon, Milo. Who else is here? And Ian.
Oh.
That's it. 1, 2. Oh, and then Cash. And then Cash, since you're in the afternoon. I think that's it. And then Mr. Buchanan, I'll send you an email. And then when Jake gets here, I'll take. Okay, so Mr. Buchanan, I'll just message you in Teams. I'm gonna set a timer. Scream at my phone. If I can. Okay.
What was that? Milo, Damien, Cash, right? You took it away right when I...
Oh yeah, Milo, Damien, Cash.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, cool. So I'll set a timer. I'll put y'all into breakout groups.
Underwater. Okay.
No, I got in.
Okay, cool, awesome. I will put you into a breakout group really quick, so you'll be with me.
Sorry, I was trying to get in, and it was doing this yesterday for language arts. I tried to like reconnect, and it just kept saying connecting for like 10 minutes. Nothing else.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Or put it in the chat what exactly you're going to work on. Damien, how's it going, man?
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Cass, what's going on, man? Damien, it's so loud on your end.
Because I'm trying to do something.
Oh. Ugh.
Just mute me.
Okay.
Too lazy to mute myself.
No, I got it. All right. Cash, how's it going, bud?
What?
Good. All right, good. All right, I already told Milo, but Damien, Cash, I'll give you about 5 to 10 minutes. I want you guys to go to your source, and or your Schoology, and I want you to set up a plan for this afternoon. I want you guys to be specific with it, though. So don't just say, hey, I'm working on math. Find the exact project or assignment that you're working on, and then you'll either verbally tell me what exactly you're working on, or you'll put it in the chat, and then you guys are able to go, okay? So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. If you need more, that's fine. I'm going to give you 5 minutes now before I just try to get a develop a plan for yourselves, and then whenever you guys are ready, just let me know.
I'll be working on my end of the year project for history.
Okay, nice. How's that going for you?
I worked on it with Mr. Hogg last week.
Okay.
So,
And I'm assuming you're probably finished reading your book that you had to read then already?
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, that sounds great. And I'll be here this afternoon, okay? So if you need any help with the PowerPoint or any other thing, just let me know, okay? And I'll be more than happy to put you in a breakout room and I can work with you one-on-one, all right?
Okay.
All right, perfect. Well, you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you around noon today.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep, bye.
I'm going to do some language arts. What notebook?
Not some language art. What are you working on in language art?
OneNote.
Okay, what is it? Give me the specific assignment. Give me the specific assignment, what it's called, and then you're able to go.
Hold on. Oh. Tic-tac-toe 3. That's what it's called.
Perfect. Hey, are you working on a end of the year project for ELA also?
Yes.
What are you doing yours on? Is it, or I know it sounds like a based off a hero, but
stuff.
Okay.
I'm doing a hero based off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
Ooh. I did not know that was gonna happen. Oh, hey, Cyber. Yeah, finally. Yeah. We went. Actually, I need air. I'll take meat. I'll take a meat. I help. Alright. Ow. Huh? I'm fine. I don't know where we're going. So, where are we going? How did Cyber get up here? TP, Interrupting. I honestly have no clue where we are. Where? Oh, this Cyber. I was supposed to say, where's Cyber? Oh, he's got an Electra. Oh, no. Wait, put down. Down. On Earth. Cyber. Here's what I want to do. I'm trying to do that thing with Tree. Um, I'm going in. I'm going in. Line up. Line up with that syndrome. The key. The key. Tell me. There's something. Got food. I'm just gonna win. I don't know where I am. I can't see. Oh. What the hell? Doing something. Yeah, boy. I'm running away. Yippee. Wait, you were just here. Last one to the castle is a run. What the? On the way. Man. Planning game. Who is it? This is
You guys remember how far you used to travel around the school in 5 minutes, and now you just have to click it from one class to the next, but still it seems to take a while. I know it does for me. I don't know why it takes me so long, but it just does.
good.
Okay, I think we can get going and just let people come in when they get here. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started, and then we don't have to look at this alien cat anymore. But, you know, it's probably a really nice cat, so maybe we should feel a little sorry for it. Okay, here we go. So today is kind of weirdly related to what we've been talking about in terms of evolution, but instead of thinking about evolution on the Earth, which I'm going to call a micro scale, we're actually going to think gigantic, and we're going to go big macro scale on us today, and we're actually going to be talking about the entire universe. So not just thinking about, you know, what's going on the Earth, but what might be going on other planets, in other solar systems, in other galaxies far, far away. So this is called our cosmic address, and we would have done this a long time ago, way back when we were talking about Mars and mining pods and things like that. But we didn't really think we were ever going to have an opportunity to be in school, so we kind of cut this out. But now that so many of us are coming to school, there's a pretty good, cool activity that goes along with this. So we're going to squeeze it in here at the end, just in a few days, the few days that we have left. Stella?
I'm pretty sure there's like a show on Netflix that's kind of like this. It's like, I think it's called like Planets on, or like Life on Other Planets. It's like a new show, but it's like what life would be like if it was on Mars or Venus.
And you think it's on Netflix?
Yeah, I can like, try and find it. It's like a lot like this.
Stella, if you find the name of it, I'd love to know what the name of it is. That would be an awesome resource. And in fact, now that Stella has brought this up, you know, yesterday and in the last class right before you, there have been so many people that have been offering resources, like saying, oh, you got to check out this video, or you got to check out this movie, or look at this YouTube, or did you know that? And there's a lot of really good information that's to be shared. and a lot of great questions. So yesterday in both classes and class right before you, we didn't even finish the PowerPoint because there were so many different questions. So if you have a question, please just raise your hand. Let's get it out there. It makes it way more fun for you guys if you don't have to listen to me and you can listen to each other. Same way if you have a comment, you're welcome to put comments into chat, or you can raise your hand and say, I heard about blah, 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 and fill us in because it gives us a lot of interesting information. So we'll start our cosmic address by thinking of more of our local address, okay? And then we're going to start really small and we're going to get really, really big, all the way out to the entire universe. And I don't know about you, but when someone asks me where I live, you know, I'll usually say Seattle. Sometimes I'll say Northeast Seattle. You know, sometimes I'll throw in a few landmarks if, you know, people are local and that might give them a better idea. But when I describe where I live, I never tell anybody that I live on Earth, right? It doesn't even cross my mind because where else would I be living? So, and don't make any jokes. I know I'm weird, but I am not an alien. So we're going to think about maybe thinking of changing our perspective just a little bit. So instead of just keeping everything super local and saying, oh, I live by Sandpoint, or I live by Matthews Beach, or I live by Ballard, or something like that, we're gonna take it gigantic. So yesterday it was kind of funny. I put this slide up, and everybody could tell me that the president lives in the White House, but only one person knew the name of the street that the White House is on. Does anybody know the name of the street that the White House is on? Oh, Addie.
Is it Pennsylvania Avenue or something?
Yes, it is Pennsylvania Avenue, absolutely. And does anybody know where the White House is? Like, if we were to tell somebody the White House is in, where would we say it is? It's not in California. Where is it? Maxine?
In Washington, D.C.
It's in Washington, D.C. That's right. And so we would say that the president lives in the White House. It's on Pennsylvania Avenue. Good for knowing that. It's in Washington, D.C. That's District of Columbia. And we would also say probably that it's in the United States of America, especially if we were talking to someone that we know maybe didn't live in our country. We'd say, oh yeah, that's in the USA, okay? But that's still pretty small, okay? I mean, even the White House has a house number, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But let's get a little bit bigger, all right? So what would be the next level of this of his the president's address? It's USA. And where's the USA? How would you describe that? Anybody have a guess? Ella?
North America.
That's right. It's in North America. Absolutely. So we're like zooming out, right? We started with the president's house, even though it's a really big one. We know the street, right? We know the state, if you will, or the district that it's in. We know it's the United States. We know it's North America, it's the continent, which is, what's next? One step bigger than, yeah, the Earth, absolutely. We live on which planet? So now, you might not think this matters at this point, but when we start getting bigger and bigger, actually knowing what planet you live on makes a difference, because we live in this place. Does anybody know what this is a picture of? You can just shout it out if you think you.
The solar system?
This is our solar system. And this is funny that, as someone pointed out, really, is that the best name we could have come up with? I mean, at least we've got Earth and we've got USA and we've got the name of the street. Well, solar just means sun. And every single star that you've ever seen before is just a sun. So we could have come up with a fancier name because our solar system is not the only one. But when we named our solar system, it was the only one that we knew about. We had no technology to tell us that there were any other solar systems. We thought there was this many. We didn't know that other stars actually had planets moving around them just like we have in our own solar system. So when we say that we have our solar system, that term, we get to keep that one, but there's billions of solar systems in the universe. Ours is just one of them. We've got, of course, our solar system is made up of the 8 major planets, and then Pluto's hanging out there, poor little Pluto. Dozens of satellites, which are just fancy names for moons. We've got lots of asteroids and comets and meteors and all kinds of things in our local solar system. But it's good to think or understand that we actually there are many solar systems out there. Ours is not. What is this thing called?
Milky Way.
This is the Milky Way Galaxy. This is where we live in our solar system. Now, this is one of my favorite slides, and I wish it was just one big giant picture of our galaxy of the Milky Way. But I love this slide. It's a great poster too. It says, "Don't take this stuff so seriously. You are here." If that little tiny arrow is pointing to one of our spiral arms in the galaxy, and our solar system is at the end of that little arrow, you can't even see the sun. It is so minuscule and puny compared to everything else that's in the picture of the Milky Way. We don't even register on the picture. Some people think when they see this picture, they think the bright glowing ball in the middle. People think that's the sun. That is not the sun. That's just a whole bunch of stars that are really, really close together. Our sun, you cannot see in this picture because it's so darn tiny. Not only can you not see our sun, you can't see the planets, you can't see the Earth. None of it is visible to our eyeball because it is so, so tiny. So we live in this spiral arm, one of the arms of our galaxy called the Orion arm. And every little dot that you see is another solar system. So remember, we have a solar system with our planets, Mars and Venus and Jupiter and all that. Every one of these suns that you see has planets revolving around it as well. Addie?
Yeah, so all the dots are different solar systems.
Yeah.
And the picture as a whole is the Milky Way. Is the Milky Way a universe?
No, that's a great question. You'll see in just a second. I will
I have one more question.
Okay, go for it.
So is there any way, you probably don't know, but is there any way in the future you could travel to a different solar system, or how would you do that?
Yes, that is the goal. The goal is to use as much technology as we can to identify the different planets. So there's a little bullet point on here that mentions that each one of these little glowing lights that you see is another solar system, many of which have planets revolving around them. 10 billion planets likely would be able to support life as we know it. Okay, so in other words, 10 billion planets exist within our galaxy that have liquid water, have relatively temperate temperatures, that have not too hot, not too cold, have oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere at reasonable levels, things like that. 10 billion planets within this Milky Way likely support life. And so, Addie, you have a really good question. How do we get to those other planets? Whether It's for humans to survive on, because our sun isn't going to be here forever. Our sun is one day going to run out of fuel and it will be gone. And the earth, we cannot survive on the earth without the sun. So at some point, humans are going to have to move somewhere else. So we have 10 billion likely candidates for which we could, move to. Or maybe there's already life forms living on that planet. So maybe they wouldn't let us in, who knows? But in any event, that exploration is where we're trying to get to. So we've made it to the moon. That's as far as we've gotten. And if you think about that, I don't know about you, Addie, but someone last period said, wait a minute, we haven't even gone out of our solar system yet, let alone traveled within our own galaxy. We got to the moon. We're like, woohoo, that's great. We haven't even been to the next planet, which is Mars. Our ability to move through space is so limited because our technology is so limited. We cannot travel fast enough to get from our planet to the next one that might actually be able to support life. So Addie, the question is, we don't know how to do that yet. We do not know how to get from where we are to some other place, even within our own solar system, let alone within our own galaxy. Go ahead, Addie.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just have one more question, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you think we would have to travel to all 8 of the other planets before going out of or do you think we could kind of jump around?
No, I think once they figure out how to survive on Mars and how they can get there without problems, how they can grow plants, live in a dome, do all those types of things. Once they've got that sorted out, then the only other thing they need to do is figure out how to make us travel faster. Because when I show you this next slide, this is actually really the thing that's going to be the problem. The distance from one place to the next is really going to be the issue here. The Milky Way Galaxy is 100,000 light years across. So in other words, if you were to stand on the left-hand side of the Milky Way Galaxy and you were to flash a flashlight to someone who was standing on the opposite side of the galaxy, it would take 100,000 light years, right? And knowing how fast light travels, that's a really long time. 100,000 light years for the flashing light to be observed by the observer on the other side of the galaxy. 100,000 light years. Humans can't live 100,000 years, let alone 100,000 light years. So we would say that traveling beyond our solar system right now is a huge step, because just getting from one place to the next takes a lot of time. So if we were going to travel to any other planets that are inside our Milky Way Galaxy, it could take 200, 300, 500, 1,000, 20,000 years to actually get there. And so we would have to have some kind of technology that would allow us to travel near the speed of light. We would also have to have technology to be able to survive on spaceships for long periods of time, right? We'd have to be able to grow our own food. We'd have to have our own medical supplies. I mean, the list goes on and on and on about all that. We'd have to worry about fuel, like how resources. How are we going to stop on asteroids along the way to get resources? I mean, what about water? All of those things have to be solved next. So going to Mars is actually going to be a huge step, because a lot of those issues will be figured out. But how fast we travel has to be solved, because if we're just traveling, 1,000 miles an hour, we're not going to make it. It's not going to work. So we got to come up with a better way to travel through space. So I was mentioning the Milky Way is a spiral galaxy, and we live in something called the Orion arm of the Milky Way Galaxy. This is the Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, and this picture is taken from Hawaii. on top of the Mauna Loa observatory atop of the mountain in Hawaii there, and you can actually see the spiral arm of our another spiral arm of our galaxy, and that's, I mean, it's a great picture, and gives us again a little perspective. You can see on the right hand side, you can see a picture of the observatory on the right, and on the left hand side you can see like a light pole that's sticking up there. And this is from Earth looking out through the Milky Way Galaxy, and all the fuzzy bits that you guys see and the lights and things, those are all suns, you know, and gases, or excuse me, not gases, space dust. Maybe we call them meteors or meteorites, all of those things in that spiral arm. And the really bright thing that you see off to the left-hand side is our next nearest star, which is called Alpha Centauri. So some people are asking, what is that really bright light off to the left? That is the next nearest star, or sun, if you will, Alpha Centauri. So this is a three-dimensional view, a different view of where our Milky Way Galaxy is in the larger universe. So in the very center is our solar system. So I don't know if you guys can see that, because these pictures get smaller and smaller and smaller as we back further out into space. In the center, you see a bright, a round sun there. That is our solar system. The planets don't show up here because they're just too tiny. And then all of the other bright lights that you see here, those are all other suns, or stars, if you will. And you'll notice our sun is kind of puny. It's just average. And there's other stars that are much bigger than our own. They're brighter lights that are there. But each one of these is another solar system, right? So even though you can't see the planets around each of these stars, each one of these likely has other planets that are revolving around it. And again, speaking of distance, our next nearest star, Alpha Centauri, is 4 light years away from us, right? So if you're thinking about how long it would take us to travel these places, I mean, humans can't even survive that long to actually get into these places, to visit them and see what actually might be there. So the Milky Way Galaxy is in a place called our local galactic group. So the Earth is in our solar system. Our solar system is within our spiral Milky Way Galaxy in the Orion Arm. And then we are part of a group of galaxies. So we're backing out even further. We are in something called the local galactic group. And if you've got your really good eyeballs with you today, I do not, so I have to zoom in here on my other picture. Here in the center, in the red writing, is our Milky Way Galaxy. But you guys can see there's other lights that are here. All of the other little lights near where there's any writing here, those are all additional galaxies. The biggest galaxy off to the bottom right-hand side is the Andromeda Galaxy. That is our closest galaxy, 5.5 million light years away, right? Our closest galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy, 5.5 million light years away. So the idea of actually traveling out of our solar system is great. Traveling to a different galaxy, our next nearest galaxy, 5.5 million light years away. We are not going to live that long. So we've got to figure out how to travel faster so we can go further distances in space if humans are expected to survive long term. We've got to be able to move away from the Earth, okay? This is a good picture to help us get perspective. This is a photograph taken by the Hubble Space Telescope, and every little dot that you see here is a galaxy. So when we think about, oh, our Milky Way Galaxy, it's so special and wonderful, and then, oh yes, we've got the Andromeda Galaxy, it's pretty close by. when Hubble Space Telescope took this picture and we realized this little tiny picture from space, every single one of those dots that you see, every one of them is a galaxy. So wrap your mind around that. Within each of those galaxies that you can see, there are billions of stars, lots of planets. How many of them might actually harbor life on them? Right? This is pretty amazing. And this is just a tiny, tiny picture of space. Someone last period said, well, that can't be all of space. How big is that picture? So here's how it was explained to me. If you were to take your thumb, hold it at arm's distance, look at your thumbnail, right? And imagine that you took a picture, held it up to the sky, and you took a picture that was the diameter of your thumbnail. That's how big this picture would be, and how many galaxies would be within that small space. I mean, I can't really think about it. It hurts my brain a little bit. Okay, so we have this local group, and then we have superclusters. So we live in a cluster of galaxies, but we also live in a bigger cluster of galaxies called the Virgo Supercluster. So here again is your three-dimensional picture. In the very center with the red writing is the Milky Way Galaxy, right? Wait a minute, let me see, make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. Virgo Supercluster, no. We have the local supercluster in the middle in red, right? That's our Milky Way Galaxy is buried in that pile of lights that are there. But all these like fuzzy splotches of lights that you see, each one of those is a supercluster of many, many galaxies, right? So if you look really, really close, you see like it's kind of like brighter here and a little brighter here and brighter here, right? Each one of those is another cluster of galaxies. So we live in something called the Virgo Supercluster. So all of these are our neighboring clusters of more galaxies that are nearby. That's crazy. And all of this together is the universe, right? And the blue writing that's in here in the middle, which you can barely, that blue writing, there's a little tiny arrow, and it's pointing to some insignificant little dot that says Virgo Supercluster. So every dot that you see here is a supercluster of galaxies, which is made up of smaller clusters of local galaxies, which then has a galaxy. I mean, it's mind-boggling how big this space actually is. So the universe is made of these clusters of galaxies that are mostly space in between them, okay, nothingness in between them. So from what we're able to tell is that the universe extends 10 billion light years in all directions, is constantly expanding at about 150,000 miles per hour, just moving outwards. So the distances between these things are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So if we're going to figure out how to travel anywhere past the moon, right? If we're going to get ourselves to Mars and do anything else, we've got to make sure that we can start traveling at near the speed of light. Or, a lot of people are suggesting, we're going to need to figure out how to use like wormholes to jump from one place to the other. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but that's all about time travel. But we got to figure out something if we want to explore this space, because right now, 10 billion light years to explore from one end of the universe to the other, we definitely are not going to be able to travel the entire universe until we get that technology. Does anyone have any other questions before we get off onto a super strange topic? No questions. So I'm not sure how this makes you guys feel, but some students yesterday had some pretty interesting thoughts about this, and we'll talk more about this when we meet today. But some people were saying that thinking about our cosmic address makes them feel very small and insignificant, because we're this little tiny blop on the map, and I mean, we can't even get past the moon. And other students said, actually, it made them feel really significant because we're the only living things that we know about in all of space. If you can even begin to think about how big and how far apart and how many billions of light years away things are from each other, that we're the only living things that we know about. So that's actually kind of cool that we are the only ones. But you can look at it a different way too. It can make you feel kind of like, well, we're all alone. But that could be a good thing too. So I don't know does anyone have a feeling about that? I don't know if anyone wants to share or not. Maxine?
I feel like there's no way that we are the only life form in all of that. Like, we're just like this tiny one planet, and we're the only life form. That makes like no sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, actually. You bring up a really good point. And that brings us to, well, what about aliens? And if there's this many billions of livable, habitable planets out there, there must be something living out there somewhere. I agree with you. So what about aliens? So I just want to share this with you, and then when we get together, we'll talk about this a little bit more. But in the 1970s, space scientists really wanted to try to answer the question if there were aliens or not. We don't have any direct evidence that there are aliens, but Maxine, like you said, the probability of there being life forms other than what we have here on Earth is pretty likely, just given the number of planets that are actually exist in the universe. So scientists made an effort to try to reach out and make contact with aliens. And some scientists were really against this idea. They said, please do not do this. And other scientists said, yes, it's a great idea. And there was kind of a big argument about it. But in any event, the winning scientists were allowed to send some messages into space. So we've done this 3 different times, all back in the 1970s. The first 2 times we did this with, these are all unmanned spacecraft. They're just satellites, and I'll show you a picture of them in just a second. Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11 spacecraft, we actually basically had a time capsule that we included with the spacecraft, trying to reach out, sending a message from humankind to anything that might be out there that might be able to have some kind of technology that could communicate with us or find us if they possibly could. And so the first messages that we sent out were just some drawings, figure of a man and a woman drawn to scale, our location. So we included a map. I'll show you a picture of the map in just a second. So we actually gave away our cosmic address. We actually said, okay, here's the Virgo Supercluster. Here are the coordinates, the 3-dimensional coordinates. Here is within our supercluster. Here's our local group, and here's our solar system, or our Milky Way Galaxy in the local. We gave it all away. We said, here we are, come and find us. And it's kind of like maybe giving too much information on social media. You might wish you hadn't after you've done it, because the wrong type of people could get your information. So we did it anyway. We sent out our location to the solar system, or where we live, and then shortly thereafter we launched Voyager 1, which is currently the furthest human-made object from Earth, and it is still broadcasting a whole bunch of information, including messages from former President Jimmy Carter, greetings in several languages, Morse code, DNA information from humans, like basically our genetic code, all kinds of informations and pictures about plants and animals and music and all kinds of different things we have placed on this spacecraft, basically, telling everybody, meaning any alien life form that might be out there, that here we are and this is what we're about, and we come in peace and come and make contact with us. It's going to be great fun. And this is where the information is on the Voyager spacecraft, and it still contains all this information, and occasionally, blasts out all kinds of different data, hoping that someone will get it. And on the side of the spacecraft, I don't know if you can see this golden circle, but that is what stores all this information. It literally is a record, like it's like a vinyl record, but it's not vinyl. It's made out of gold, and it has all kinds of information on one side, which is engraved into it, and on the opposite side, it's actually literally a record that has recordings of voices and music and sounds of the earth, rain and wind, and all that kind of stuff. Yes, Aaron?
Do you know why it's made of gold?
It's made of gold because gold is very unreactive. And so if this were to crash land on a planet somewhere, it wouldn't, provided it didn't get ruined, it wouldn't corrode or rust or anything like that. So it's made out of gold because it doesn't react with other elements. So it's basically, they picked it to be sturdy, so that it could withstand exposure to any kind of elements should it be taken to another planet or fall onto the surface of the planet. There may be some other reasons why it's gold, but as far as I know, those are the only ones that I can remember. In the top of this golden record, you guys can see some things that look like vibrations. Those are impulses that are that the Earth sends out naturally. It's it's called a pulsar map. And so basically scientists spend a lot of time scanning the universe for these regular pulses of electricity, because regular pulses of electricity mean that something has to be making those regular pulses. And when we say something, it must be some technology. And so other than some other rare things that occur naturally, pulsar information or pulsar maps are made by beings, if you will. And so the Earth is sending out this pulsar information all the time to other planets saying, hey, we're here. And so this is the pulsar map that the Earth is sending out. So if aliens were to ever get this and look at that, they go, oh my gosh, we've seen that before. We know exactly where this is coming from. So this is a pulsar map. The bottom right-hand side, you can barely see it, but there are two atoms that are stuck together. That's two hydrogen molecular diagram. The thing that looks like a star, right? Like a starburst on the left-hand side, that is actually a three-dimensional map of where we are in the universe. If you were actually to zoom in on that, there's all kinds of information. You can see they're not just lines. There's some more information that's there. There's all kinds of different information that's on this. It's kind of like a crack the code type of thing. But when scientists made this, they tried to make it as clear and obvious as possible so that if these aliens that might exist, if they're smart enough, they would look at this and go, oh, we know what this is. If they're not smart enough to figure it out, I guess we don't want to make contact with them. But this is just the best that they could come up with. Last period, someone said they looked up the music that they selected, because on the flip side of this record, there's actually recordings of all kinds of music, and they were kind of laughing. They're like, oh, there's just lots of classical music. There's Bach and there's Mozart. I think there's some Beatles, maybe some Jimi Hendrix on there, something like that. There's some different selections, but it's mostly classical music. But students were asking, was there any argument about what was put on here? Did anyone get a say? But you don't have any French on there, or you don't have any information about, this country or that country. If you want to know the truth, the big argument back in the day when they did this in the 70s was they argued about the fact that there's an image of a naked man and a naked woman, and they're hand drawn. It's like, you know, but they look like a human male and female figure with all the genitalia, and you know, telling alien life forms that this is what humans look like. This is what our species looks like, and people just were in a tizzy about the fact that you know, we would show naked people on a spacecraft to aliens. You know, it's like, I think that's the least of our problems. If aliens actually were to pick this up, I don't think the aliens are going to be worried about the fact that we're naked. But it was like this big, like, to do about it, and it was this big deal. I was reading about it. It's kind of funny that was the major issue, but that was what they were. That's what they are all concerned about. So, where are the aliens? That's the question. So when we rejoin later this afternoon, we will have that discussion. Where are the aliens? If they're out there and it's likely that they're there, why have they not made contact with us? After all, we've told them where we are. So we'll talk about that later. Yes, Tova?
So we're calling them aliens, right? But then wouldn't they call us aliens?
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to be like them, probably.
Absolutely. We would be alien to them just as they would be alien to us. Absolutely. Absolutely. We probably have to come up with a different name, because that has maybe a bad connotation or a scary connotation to it. So don't forget to check the source. Many of you have been turning in lots of work, and you're doing a good job on that. But if anything needs to be redone, please take Wednesday time to get that taken care of. I will see everyone back here at 1:20, and we will talk more about aliens. All right, you guys, we'll see you later. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started here in just a second. I have a question for you, however. Does anybody see the activity 9 in their OneNote?
No. No.
No. Cooper Scoopers. Okay. Give me a second here. We're going to see what's going on. I'm working on getting this there. All right. If you refresh, you should be able to see it now, I hope. But what I would like you to do in the chat, I want to know your preference and why. Pepsi, Coke, RC Cola, or soda water, also known as sparkling water, and why? Pepsi, Coke, RC Cola, or soda water? What do you prefer and why? Throw that in the chat. Pepsi, Coke, RC Cola, or soda water? What do you prefer and why?
Yes, everyone's thinking. Look in the description. What the hell?
All right. Pepsi, because you've had it more than Coke. All right. I know we have more than one person in here. Pepsi, Coke, RC Cola, or soda water, and why? Coke, because it's a classic. All right, Dylan, do you have a question, or are you raising your hand to let me know about OneNote?
Oh, I'm just raising my hand for OneNote.
Got it. All right, Coke, because you like the taste better. Okay. And I see 3 people are indicating to Mr. Haug and I that, yes, we do indeed see activity 9 in our OneNote. So thank you for that. Now I see 5 people. If for whatever reason you're not seeing activity 9, if you could refresh your OneNote, it might show up there. Now I see 10 people are indicating to Mr. Haug and I, 11 people. Which is fantastic. And we have 17 people indicating that they see activity 9 in their OneNote. And Pepsi, Coke, RC Cola, or soda water, and why? Never had Pepsi, never heard of RC Cola. Royal Crown Cola. Don't like Coke, so you're going to go with soda water. Fair enough. All right, we just have 2 people that are indicating that they have yet to access the OneNote, so we're just going to do a quick check-in. Wiley, are you able to get into your OneNote?
Sorry, I thought I put my hand up. Yeah.
Okay, great. No worries. And Aaron, are you able to get into your OneNote? All right, great. You can lower your hands. That would be fantastic. Lower your hands. All right. And so our agenda for today, while you're lowering your hands, we're going to go over our afternoon expectations. And then we're going to kind of do some reflection about democracy and what does democracy mean. And then we're going to talk about the successes and failures of radical reconstruction. And that's going to bring us into our activities for this afternoon. All right. Are there any questions so far? Dude, I love that emoji, Mr. Haug, in the chat with a monocle. That's great. Makes me think of Monopoly. Or Mr. Peanut, those two. All right. Today is an A day, which means A group will be in person. And there is a typo on here for the students that are not paying attention. Groups B and C will be virtual online. B and C, not A and C. A will be in person. So it should say B and C. All right. So this afternoon, all students are required to complete 518 Activity 9, Democracy Without Equality, in their OneNote class notebook. Questions? All right. So here we go. What is democracy? So in your opinion, what does democracy mean? What do you associate it with? What is democracy? Yeah, Tova.
Not having a king and a queen and having an equal government.
Okay, having an equal government, not having a king or a queen. Okay. Will?
Giving the people the right to vote for government.
Okay, giving the people the right to vote for government. Okay. Julius, I saw your hand up.
I was gonna say it's a way that a body operates. By body, I mean any like government or group of people could act maybe democratically.
Okay. Okay. So you mean like a group of people or like a nation could act democratically? Okay. Justin?
To add on to Julius's point, I think it's a body, a government body, where the people have the power.
Okay. So it's a government entity where the people have the power. Okay. And I think someone mentioned it earlier too. They said maybe it's the way that they exert some of that power is through voting. Perhaps. All right. So when we look at it from there, what does it mean by people? What do they mean by people? Like if people have the power and people vote, can all people vote?
No.
Julius,
People.
you said no.
Because people under 18 can't vote.
Okay, people under 18 can't vote. Okay. So if you're a person over the age of 18, can you vote?
No. What, for you're talking about the American, like, just voting for, like, things like the president and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Then no.
Then no, what do you mean?
Well, somebody from, say, Britain can't vote for the American president.
Okay. Why is that?
I forget. I'm pretty sure you have to be an American citizen to vote.
Okay, so you have to be a U.S. citizen to vote. So what's the difference between people and citizens? Yeah, Jeff.
A U.S. citizen is like someone either born on America. I don't really know how it works, but it's like born on American soil, or like you identify as an American citizen. You have to like take a bunch of tests or something like that, and then you become an American citizen if you're like from somewhere else. But I think it's you also have to be an American citizen for like 5 years or something like that.
Okay. So you can go through, it's called the naturalization process, where if you're someone from another country, you can become a U.S. citizen. And there's a series of steps to do, or if were born in a U.S. territory or within the boundaries of the U.S., then you are automatically a citizen. Okay. But let's go to that idea of citizen versus people. And this is actually a kind of like the foundation of our class today. What do we mean by people, and what do we mean by citizen? And the reason we ask that is, yeah, Julius, I saw your hand go up.
I was gonna say maybe citizens are more valued by society.
Okay. So when we go and think about citizen versus people, citizen and people, citizens are people, but are people citizens? Like, what's the difference between the two? And when we look at like the founding of our government, which has democratic principles, the principles of a democracy to it, where people vote to decide who their leaders are. It's a representative democracy. The guiding document which establishes our government, which gives government its power, called the Constitution. What are the first 3 words of the Constitution? Yeah, Justin.
We the people.
Yeah, the first 3 words of the Constitution are "we the people." Not "we the citizens." It's "we the people." So what does that mean? Did they mean "we the citizens"? Did they mean "we the people"? How does that work? Can people be citizens? Can citizens be people? What's the difference between that? If you're not a citizen, are you a person? Are you not a person? And so thinking about that and keeping that in our brain, we're going to shift over to our OneNote now, because what we're going to look at today in our class is, can you have democracy without equality? And one of the things that we're going to do is, by the end of today, we're going to It's more like reflect on the successes and failures of radical reconstruction. And then we're going to reflect on whether a nation can successfully become more democratic, means give more power to the people, without fully achieving the goals of equality and justice. So essentially, we're going to go, can you have a democracy without equality? In our Constitution, what do we mean by we the people? Do we mean we the citizens? Does it mean we the people in the United States? What's the difference? And so that's what we're going to take a look at today. And because we're going to be looking at, can we have democracy without equality? We just defined democracy, where the people have the power, but not all people have that power. So what do we mean by people? But now we need to look at what is equality, because if we're trying to go, can we have a democracy without equality? We need to look at what equality is. So part one of our OneNote, that's what we're filling out right now. Part one of our OneNote, I'm just going to say that so everybody is clear on it. We are going to work on part one of today's OneNote. And I want you to answer the question, what is equality? How do you know if you are an equal member of a group or a nation? What is equality, and how do you know if you are an equal member of a group or a nation? All right. Write your response in your OneNote. I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on that. All right. So let's take a look. What is equality? How do you know if you're an equal member of a group or a nation? What did you guys put down? Karen, what did you write down?
I wrote equality is being able to have and do the same things as everyone else. And then I was like halfway through my second sentence, but what I have right now is you can know that you're an equal member of a group or nation if you have the same rights, etc., as everyone else in that group.
Okay, so if you have the same rights as all the other members in that group. Okay, Dylan?
I agree with Perrin, and also like having individual equal opportunity to like make your own choices, I guess, as other people. And I also think it like reflects back to freedom, having able to like have the same freedom as people as well.
Ah, okay. So you're actually the first student of all the classes to use the word freedom in any of their definitions of equality. So kind of like the freedom to choose, that equality is directly tied to an individual's freedom. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Kale, what did you write?
For the reflection of equality.
Yeah.
I think equality is when someone legally and like in society is like equal to everyone else, like they treat them the same and the laws are equal to them.
Okay. Anybody else? Before we move on? And what is equality, and if you're an equal member of a group or a nation? All right. So we're going to move on to part 2 now. Successes and failures of radical reconstruction. For the first question, I want you to look back at your activity 8 in your OneNote from last Friday. So when we talked about the interracial democracy in that video. And I want to write down, because we can't talk about equality and freedom. And Dylan, I like how you equated the two and that they're interrelated between equality and freedom. We can't talk about can we have democracy without equality if we don't talk about some of the successes or accomplishments of the policies of radical reconstruction, specifically for the rights of freed people in the South. And so I want you to look back and write down 2 successes or accomplishments of radical reconstruction for the rights of freed people in the South. What were 2 successes or accomplishments? I'm going to give you a few minutes to jot those down, and then we're going to do a share up.
Oh my gosh. Sheesh. What time?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the successes or accomplishments of radical reconstruction that we talked about last week? Let's see here. Yeah, Jack, what's one that you got? And Jack, what's one of the successes or accomplishments of radical reconstruction? All right, we're not hearing anything. We'll come back to you.
I was talking into my muted microphone. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Okay, I'll just say it again. So, the Civil Rights Act of 1875, which means it's now illegal to discriminate against people of color in public, so which means, like, for example, it's illegal to refuse to sell something to a person of color.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get to that in a little bit, actually. So the protections of it's illegal to discriminate against people based on race in regards to selling something or other public accommodations. Great. All right. And let's see, Olivia.
I said that too, but I also said that all men had voting rights of any race.
Okay, all men of any race had voting rights. So yeah, the universal manhood suffrage, it opened up the voting rights. Okay, great. Any other successes? What'd they establish in South Carolina? The video specifically talked about in South Carolina. Does anybody remember? It said it was fundamental to a democracy to have this, so that the people were well informed enough to be able to make decisions. Yeah, Justin.
Wasn't it education?
Yeah, where do we go for an education?
School.